Hi friends, welcome to my North Knit Corner. My name is Anne and I come to you from the south of Norway, where I live with my husband and our 3 boys. Welcome to my knitting corner, where I talk about finished objects, what I have on the needles, and yarny goodness. Welcome back if you have been here before, and welcome if you are here for the first time. I hope that you want to sit down with your craft and maybe something good to drink and join me for a knit and chat. I have timestamps on my episode. So if there is something that you don't want to listen to feel free and skip ahead. I also have information about everything I talk about in the description box below. But if there is something that I have forgotten to write there, feel free to contact me if there is something that you are wondering about or have questions, and I will answer your questions as best I can. I think we will just get right to it and start with FOs. My first FO is also what I'm wearing, and it's a summer top. It's the last summer top this year, because fall is here. Last week we had a really warm and sunny week. We almost hit 30 degrees Celsius, which is not very often here in Norway, and for that to be in September as well, I don't complain. It was really lovely, but now I think I'm ready for some fall and some sweater knitting and the cozy time of the year. But the last summer top of the year is the Pure Top by Anna Daku in the Bluebird box on Instagram and on YouTube. I've knitted this in Rauma Pelana, which is 50% cotton and 50% merino wool. This was a really enjoyable yarn to knit with. I don't really know how to describe it, but the only word I can think about is that it's like a moisturizer. Just not exactly soft, but it has this moisture. Yeah. So I really enjoy knitting with this. The color is sand, number 0234. I've knitted the size 2 on 4mm needles, which is US 6. And yeah, I am happy with this. The pattern was wonderful. One of the things I really enjoy with Anna's patterns is that she has, or at least the ones I have knitted, is that she has like a form, not a form, trying to find the right English word. Well, she has written up for you, like if you have a round where you are going to increase, then she has it written up so you can hook off when you have done that, and you know you have the right amount of stitches, or if there are different things that you have to do, then you have this form that you can keep track of everything and hook off, or yeah, when you have done those things, so it's easy to follow the pattern and everything that you have to do. I hope I explained that okay. Felt like a ramble to me, but anyway, highly recommend Anna's patterns. They are great. But the Pure Top, it has this wonderful garter on top. I really enjoy this shoulder. Yeah, what can I say? I only had 6 balls of this yarn because it was a yarn that I bought several years ago. So I didn't have any specific plan with it, but now I thought I could use it for this. The only thing is that I should have 7 balls and not 6. I think it was about, you should use about half of a 7th ball, but I took a chance. I did. And I should have had a bit more length on this, so I should have had 7 balls of yarn. But oh well, it is what it is. I knew that could be a possibility, so it's okay. But if I knit it again, something that I really want to, but not until maybe spring next year, then I will have enough yarn. And I also want to have maybe a cream color or white or something. I don't think this is the color for me. I don't know why I bought this color. Probably because it was cheap. But anyway, it's okay. But I can knit it again next year in a different color, and this is fine. But it is a bit short. I can stand up so you can see, but I'm wearing a high-waisted pants, so it might not be as easy to see that it's short. But I can show you how far I would like it. I would like it here, so a bit more maybe. So that's the pure top. I picked up less stitches around the neck and the arms, because around the sleeves. Yeah, I tried the number that was in the pattern, but it got a bit too wide for me, so I just picked up less stitches, and that worked fine. So if I'm going to knit this again, I probably want to knit the size 1 because of gauge and everything, so I could have knitted the size 1. But maybe next year, we'll see. But I am ready for some cozy sweaters and some fall knitting, and I think I will change into a warm and cozy sweater. I love this sweater. This is just the perfect vibe of fall, of cozy. Oh, these colors, I really love them. And the sweater, it fits me. I need flags. For you who have been here before, you know that I had some issues. I started to knit this sweater in a size, I don't remember, 2, 3, I don't remember. Anyway, it became too small. I had split for sleeves and knitted a bit down, and I tried it on and it was just too small. And you don't even know what sweater I'm talking about. Oh, but I'm sure you do, because of course you have seen this maybe on Instagram or other places, but it is the Instant Crush by Joji Locatelli. And it's gorgeous. Did I say I love it? But I knitted one, I started, and it was too small, so I had to rip it back and start again. And I'm so happy that I started again and that it fits me perfectly. I've knitted this in several different mohairs and kid silks from different brands, so I have to look down to remember all of them, but I will also write it on the screen here. But I have knitted in, my main color is Sannes Tynn Line, not Line, I'm in the summer fiber still. Sandnes Tynn Kid Silk. Yeah, Sandnes Tynn Kid Silk. The number 3554 in the color Rust. And I have also knitted in Viking Kid Silk. The color is 355 Burnt Orange. And Dale Tynn Kid Silk, Erle, in the color 4040 Powder Pink. And Drops Kid Silk in the color 37 North Sea. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4 different brands of mohair in this sweater. That's okay. I had 2 of them at home, the North Sea color from Drops and the Dale Tynn Kid Silk Erle, which is the powder pink, which is this one. I had them in my stash from earlier projects, and I had to have 2 more colors, so I bought the rust and the burnt orange color. But to get the colors that I wanted, I had to go for different brands to get the colors I wanted. So, but that's okay. We can mix and match, no problem. It's knitted with 2 strands of mohair held together. And to be honest, I don't love to knit with only mohair. A mohair and a merino, that's fine. But 2 strands of only mohair, I don't like that. It's, I don't know, it's not comfortable to knit with at all. But I did it because I love this sweater. I love the color work on this sweater, and it was so much fun just to see it grow and see the pattern coming, and yeah, so it was worth it. But of course you can knit with DK, merino, whatever you want. So, but I wanted to use the mohair because I liked how that looked. But to be honest, there's one more thing about only mohair, and that is that it's not my favorite to wear next to skin. I'm not very bothered by the scratching of a yarn, or that it's ticklish or like that, but I can feel that I'm wearing mohair. It's okay, but it's not very comfortable, if I can say that. But it's okay because I just love how it looks. So I'll wear it because I love it, and that's okay. But just a reminder for myself, I don't love mohair sweaters that much. Mohair merino together, fine, but not only mohair. Anyways, yeah, what size did I end up knitting? I haven't written that anywhere. Yeah, I have. It's the size 4, and I've knitted on 3 and 4 millimeter needles, which is US 2.5 and 6. It weighs 193 grams, so it's really light. And yeah, I don't know what more to say other than I am loving this so much, and it's just the perfect fall colors, I think. It is a low contrast between the rust and the burnt orange, but so at first when I started to knit, I was a bit afraid that it wouldn't go together, but I think it does. I don't mind that it's a low contrast. I like it. So highly recommend this pattern as well. So much fun to knit. I usually print out my patterns, but I only have black and white printer, or it only prints in black and white. So I had to figure out how to do this color work, because it's a lot of different colors, and if it's only black and white, then it's not so easy to see where I have to change colors. So I tried Knit Companion for the first time, only the free version, but I really enjoyed using that. It was perfect. It helped me a lot to see where I was in the chart, and I can just leave it when I have to do something else, and when I come back, it's the bar is still where I left it off. So that was great. I always thought that I preferred using printed patterns, and in many ways I still do, but when I'm knitting with charts, that was really great. So I will keep using the Knit Companion, the free one, for now, and I'll see if I'll change that in the future. But it was great. A great tool to help me while I was knitting this beautiful sweater. So that is finished object number 2. And then I have only hats. This will be a hat bonanza. I have knitted so many hats the last 3 weeks and had so much fun with it. I have knitted an Oslo hat. I think maybe I had started that last time I had an episode. I think so. An Oslo hat by Petite Knit, knitted in Sandnes Sunday. Here it is. I knitted in the color 6063, which is blue, 2 strands together, and I don't know what it is with me, but I struggle to keep those 2 strands together. So many times I had to go down and pick up one of the strands. I've been just sitting with my crochet needle and just finding places where I missed one strand and picked it up. But it's done. It's a great pattern, but it's not my favorite thing to knit because it's stockinette all the way, and since it has a folded brim, it's a lot of stockinette. But it's a great hat. It's a really, I think it will be a really warm and great hat. I don't know about you, but I struggle with the decreases, not because they are hard, because they are not, but getting them nice. I feel like I get holes in the top. See? So yeah, you could see that, right? So there are like, I wish they were more together and not with that hole in the middle of them. So I'm not really happy about that. I don't know how I can do it better. So if you have a suggestion, I would love to hear it, because I really want to have an Oslo hat myself, because I think it looks good, and I like the brim that you get. It's warm around the ears, but I don't like how this is turning out. This is a gift, which I'm semi-happy with, but I think it will be okay. I think the man who's going to get it will be happy. And I sewed on a flag, a Norwegian flag. because I'm giving it to someone who lives in Bulgaria. So that's just a bit of fun to give them something to remember us by. Yeah. It is the size woman, even though it's for a man, but I am a loose knitter, so I decided to go for the woman size. And on 3mm needles, US 2.5, it weighs 180 grams. And then I started to knit more stockinette hats. And it's the Musselburgh hat. I have knitted 2 of them since last time. I was on a trip and visited some friends and went on a podcast meetup. So I was taking the train. Normally it will be like a 3.5-hour trip, but there was delays, so it took almost 5 hours both ways. Because it's been some flooding, and that's why it took a longer time. But anyway, on my train trips, I got to knit 2 Musselburgh hats. Not all on the train, but mostly. So here's the first one. And I love this pattern. Now I was almost talking Norwegian here. But I love Musselburgh pattern. It's all stockinette as well, but it's just different than the Oslo hat somehow. I can't describe it, but I think this is more fun to knit. Maybe because it was more fun colors, I don't know. But anyway, the Musselburgh hat is a pattern by Isolde Teague. And I'm sure many of you have knitted this yourself or seen it many places. It's the size toddler on 3.5mm needles, which is US 4. And I knitted in a yarn that was gifted to my son by one of you lovely viewers. I have misplaced the tag, so I don't know who has dyed this yarn, but it is so fun, and my son loves this this color. He loves sparkle yarn. It has sparkles in it. Yeah, I don't think you can see it, but he loves colorful and sparkled yarn, so perfect. Yeah, I knitted only with 1 strand, and since it is like a tube, it gets really warm and comfy. So that's so good. I don't think I'll talk a lot more about this, but I also knitted another Musselburgh hat, which I have to put up a picture because my son has taken it to school. And he took it the other day, and I thought I could ask him to borrow it today, but he forgot to take it with him home, which is how he rolls, because he takes a new hat every morning and then it is left at school. So when I tell him in the end of the week, remember to bring your hats home, he comes home with 5 or 6 hats because he just forgets them at school. So he needs a lot of hats because he forgets to take them with him home. But a picture of his hat. This is the Filcolana Arvetta in color 143 mid blue, together with a strand of hand-dyed yarn from Garnfene, which is a Norwegian hand dyer, and the color is called Witch Hour. Very moody dark color with a lot of sparkle in. So he wanted a hat that was a bit thicker, so that's why I knitted with 2 strands of yarn, and it's really warm and nice. It's knitted in the child size, child, little adult, small adult, not little adult. small adult. On needles 4mm, which is US 6. And it weighs 95 grams, and this one weighs 72 grams. Yeah, so that's my 2 Musselburgh hats. Before I go on with my hats bonanza, I will show you a shawl that I've been knitting, and I showed it to you last time as a whip, but now it's done and it is here. And I think it's beautiful. It's the Filippashawl by Gro Tveitstøl, a Norwegian designer and podcaster. The shawl pattern is made for the Child Cancer Awareness Month, which is September. In the Norwegian knitting community, they have like a knit along in September, and it's to make awareness about child cancer, but also to have a fundraiser to get money for child cancer research. So when you buy this pattern, all of the money that she gets for this pattern in September and August, I think, goes towards the fundraiser for child cancer. Yeah, it's not always so easy to explain things in English, but I hope you understand. So I have bought this pattern and knitted it up, and I think it is so beautiful. It's knitted in my hand-dyed yarn. This pink is called Mother because it reminds me of my mom. And I also have Sunny's Sunday on the border in the color 1001. And is it white? I think it's white. I knitted on 3mm needles, US 2.5. It weighs 104 grams, so it's very light. Yeah, so it's both written instruction and charted instructions, which I am very pleased about because I like charts for some things, like color work, for example. Charts is key. But for shawls like this, I prefer written instructions. So it was line for line what you were going to do, and I so appreciate it. Yeah. So here's my shawl. I will also put up a picture of it hanging out at the end of my episode today. But I am so happy with how it turned out. Okay. I can show it now because now it fell off. But I will also put up a picture because it's easier to see. But here it is. You know how much time I used to put that up on this hanger? It always falls off. And it did. Anyway, here it is. Gorgeous. And this is also going to be a gift. So my Filippashawl is done. Last week there was a knit night at my local coffee shop, and the coffee shop collaborates with the local yarn store, and so the yarn store was open for a bit during the knit night, so there was possibilities to shop. I wasn't supposed to shop anything. I didn't have any plans to, but then someone came back from the yarn shop and said that there were sale on a yarn from Viking called alpaca stole. That is alpaca wool and nylon blend. I've never tried it before, but I realized that that is the perfect yarn to knit the Season's Greetings hat by Herbgarden knitwear, Hanna Lubben. And I was planning to do so. So I thought, okay, I will go buy yarn for that hat. So I did. I got 5 colors, which I needed for the hat. And I started to knit my Season's Greetings hat. And here it is. Because if you've been here before, you know I am making myself a Christmas hat box. And I haven't been knitting any Christmas hats in July and August. So it was time to knit some Christmas hats again. So this will be going into my Christmas hat box. This is, as I said, Viking Alpaca Storm. And the 5 colors is 533 Forest, 550 Red, 529 Dark Petrol, 502 Cream, and 520 Light Blue. Now, I didn't have the light blue at first. I bought another color, 527 Jeans Blue, to knit together in here and not have the light blue. The light blue is in the middle here. You see it? Because when I was starting to knit and I was sitting here, I thought that it was just such a low contrast. The petrol, dark petrol, and the jeans blue, they look like almost the same color when I was knitting with it. The jeans blue is a bit lighter, but too similar. So I decided to go and buy another ball of yarn in a different color. So I bought the light blue. It was no longer on sale, but oh well. So I chose the light blue instead of the jeans blue. So there is no jeans blue in here. I knitted this up so fast. This is the size 2 on 3.5mm needles, which is US 4. This weighs 53 grams. So I used so little yarn for this and it went by so fast. I used under 2 days to knit this. And then, of course, I didn't knit all the time. It's a ribbed brim that you fold up. And this color work went by so fast. It's just 2 colors at the time. And it's so easy and fun to knit. I had so much fun knitting this. And since it went by so fast, and I had a lot of yarn left, because the only yarn I really used of was the green. The other ones was hardly anything taken from the balls of yarn. So I decided I want to knit another one, because I have so much yarn left. So I knitted a red one. Here it is. It's all the same colors, and I have to, that's the problem. I don't know now if this blue is the petrol or the jeans blue. Doesn't want to focus. But I have it in my Ravelry notes, or my Ravelry project, which I will link below. So I knitted this. This was a bit too small, just a bit. So I knitted the size 3 this time on 3.5mm needles again, US 4, and this weighs 64 grams. No, sorry, 66 grams. So another season's greetings hat, but I still had a lot of yarn left because now I only used a lot of the red. I still had a lot of the other colors. So what did I do? Because this only took a couple of days, I started another one. Of course I did. And now I use the petrol color. I was a little bit afraid that I would not have enough of this petrol. I had weighed, so I knew that I had almost enough. But so I knitted I think I knitted the right length on the brim with the rib. But then maybe I cheated a bit up on here when you start the decreases, that I didn't knit one round. When you're doing decreases and you have some rounds knitted in between them, I maybe skipped one or two, but that doesn't matter. This was a bit too big again, so then I thought that's okay. And there was another one. It's the same size, it's size 3, but I tried to knit on 4mm needles, 4 or 4.5. US 6, that's right anyway. But as always, I have it on the screen. Size 3, but I knitted on bigger needles. And this weighs 64 grams. So what do you do when you still have yarn left? Remember, I had 6 balls of yarn, 50 grams. I think it's like around 130 meters on one skein or one ball. I knitted another one. I did. I had so much fun knitting these hats, and it was so addictive. The only thing that's maybe a little bit boring is there a 2x2 brim? But you know, that's a nice TV knitting, and then it's so much fun with the color work, and I had so much fun, like just putting the colors together. I had 6 different colors, and just putting those colors together to get these different kind of hats was so much fun. So here's my 4th hat. It's also size 3, also on US 6 needles, which I don't know if it's 4 or 4.5 millimeters, because I can't understand my own writing. But yeah, so that's the last one. I still have some yarn left of the light blue and the white, but some of the other ones are no more. I used it all. I was thinking about making one more hat, but I then have to find some other yarn, and I thought, okay. And since it's nylon in it, I think I can use them for socks. So maybe they will become some socks, the rest of the yarn. But here they are. Did I say that the blue one weighs 57 grams? Here they are, 4 seasons greetings hats. Yeah, I love them. I highly recommend this pattern. And I can't forget, I have a Herbgarden knitwear knit along going on. So it's going on all the way out November. So on Instagram, the hashtag is Herbgarden KWCal23. And Hannah is so nice that she has given us a discount code. And I will write it on the screen, and I will write it in the description box. And if you want to join in, there's a 20% discount for you. So just going to her Ravelry store, which I also will have linked below, and see if there's something there that you would like to knit and join our knit along. That would be so much fun if you did. So while we are talking about the Herbgarden knit along, we can go into whips, and the first one I've shown you before, and I'm not finished with it yet, but I have finished the body, and it's the Poise Sweater by Hannah in Herbgarden knitwear. And here it is. And I think this yoke is so stunning. I loved knitting this, and it was so much fun, and it looks amazing, if I can say so myself. But that is only because the design is amazing. This will be a favorite. I have tried it on. It fits perfectly. I am done with the body, as I said, and it looks quite small, and it's not, of course it will block out a bit, but it fits perfectly. I'm so happy because I hadn't tried it on before almost finishing it. So I was a bit afraid because of my history, you know, with gauge and everything. Yes, you're probably tired of that, but oh, it fits so well. Ooh, I'm so happy. Can you tell? Oh, I love that you can be like just so happy over something knitted that you have knitted yourself, and it's the best feeling. Okay, but let's talk about it. I've knitted this in Holst Super Soft, and I am knitting the size 4 on 2.5 and 3 millimeter needles, which is US 1.5 and US 2.5. Yes, the Holst. So many people rave about it, and they love it, and I do like it. It's so forgiving, and this color work, I think it turned out really good. So even and nice, and I'm sure it will be even better when I wash it. But this is really tough on my hands. That's why I think I normally would knit faster on a sweater, but I get my hands hurt when I knit with this. And I could have changed needles and tried my wooden needles from Chagu, but I was afraid that since I started with metal needles, that if I changed in the middle here, that you would see it and that my gauge would change and everything. So I didn't dare to do that. And I don't have needles in the bamboo needles in what's it called? In this, with a cord that's short enough to knit sleeve needle. Can you call it that? Yeah. And I could have done magic loop, of course, but I didn't feel like it. So that's why I still use metal needles, and it takes some time because, yeah, it's just tough on my hands. But it's worth it. I will just enjoy it while it lasts, while I'm knitting on this, and I'm sure when I wash it that it will be just soften up, because everyone says so, so I believe them. And if I'm going to knit with Holst Super Soft again, something I really want to, because it's very affordable and nice, turns out really nice, maybe I should wash the yarn first and then knit with it. Maybe that would help. I don't know. But I'm really happy with it. And I haven't said what colors I'm using. I'm using the color Space. It's the blue one. And the color Almond in the color work. Just the same that Hannah used in her sweater. And I thought it looked so good, so I shamelessly copied her. And I'm so happy I did, because I love the colors. One thing that I'm a bit afraid of is that when I'm knitting with the blue color, my hands turn blue. So blue. So I wonder if that will be a disaster when I wash this, that it will go over on the almond color and make all this beautiful not look that beautiful anymore. I will buy color catcher. I think I found a store that sells them here in Norway, so I will go and buy that. Hopefully it will go okay. I think I won't throw it in the washing machine. I would just put it in a bucket with water. Can you put a color catcher up in the bucket and not only use it in a machine? I've never used them before, but so many people talk about them. And yeah, have you done that? Put a color catcher in with when you're soaking your sweater only in a bucket? Please tell me. So that's my Poise sweater. I am excited to have this done. It will be a favorite this fall. I am so in love with this sweater. Okay, so I had to cast on some new things because I have so many exciting plans, and I'm so excited to cast on all of the things. So I have cast on 2 things. I cast them both on the same day just because. So the first thing I cast on is the Corran Cardigan by Rebecca Clow, the Korea Bea. I've knitted a Corran cardigan before this summer in a long version in a black yarn or black color. Here is my current Corran cardigan on the needles. This is knitted in Sandnes Tynn Line in the color 255 or 2553 in the color brown, and I think it's such a beautiful color. Maybe you can see it better in the skein or in the balls. What you can't see is that it has this really nice sheen to it. It's just such a lovely golden brown, and also a color perfect for fall. So I'm so excited to have this done, and it goes by pretty fast. I'm knitting the size 3 on 3.5 and 4.5 millimeter needles, US 4 and 7, and I'm using my new Chaigu bamboo needles, which I still love. And now I've got myself this thread lace cable, which of course are the best. So I'm so happy, and I think this is going by so fast. I cast this on the day before yesterday, and I already knitted so much. What can I say other than it's another wonderful pattern, very easy, knitted from the bottom up, which is not my favorite, but it's okay in this pattern. And when it's a cardigan, it's a bit different than when it's a sweater, I feel. Yeah, so I'm just chugging away on this. It's just a 4-row repeat, so it goes by very easy, and it's very easy to remember. I did a lot of mistakes yesterday. It's very I'm weird, because when things are easy, I make mistakes, and I don't get it because it's so easy, and I still manage to make mistakes. So there was a lot of ripping back yesterday, but it's okay. I will, you can make the Corran cardigan with a round neck, with a V-neck. You can make long sleeves, short sleeves. I will make round neck and long sleeves this time. Maybe I have put up a picture of how I want it to look, because it's like one of Rebecca's Corran cardigans. And I think it will be a very nice piece for fall. So that is the Corran cardigan, and I had to cast on something else because I'm itching to cast the things on. So I cast on something that I have been thinking about for a long time, and I had the yarn ready since March. And it's another lace and fade boxy. I've knitted one before, which I showed you in the fall knitting episode. So if you haven't seen that, I can link it for you up here. If you want to see my knitting plans for the fall. And my needle stoppers just falls off because my needles are too small. But anyway, I haven't come very far on this one. This is how it's not so easy to show you. This is the back, which is on hold right now. So the lace and fade boxy is a pattern by Joji Locatelli, and it's knitted with 5 different colors and a mohair. I can just take off these needle stoppers because they just fall off anyway. Because I am knitting on size 2.5 and 2.75 millimeter needles, so small needles, US 1.5 and 2. Size 1. I am knitting size 1 because the last one I knitted was also size 1, and that was a bit too wide for my taste. Of course, the gauge was off, and so it probably is bigger than it should be. But I decided this time to try and modify the size 1 to make it a bit less wide. So I've taken away 20 stitches. And I just did it, and I started, and so that means that I have taken away 10 stitches on each of the sides of the sweater. My brain is stopping. Yeah, so I think it will work out. So far, so good. I'm crossing my fingers for that. I can tell you about the colors I'm using. I have diff colors from our hand-dyed yarn from different hand dyers, all Norwegian hand dyers, because I bought them on a knitting festival in March. My first yarn, which is the one that is knitted up here, is this one. This is from Lifechat in the colorway Croquet. Then I have this one, and this is from Garnbutikken Fortuna, and it's the color Svorkmo, I think. Svorkmo, yeah. So these two. And then I have this, which is also Garnbutikken Fortuna. This color is called Tronka. And all of this is, of course, in my Ravelry project, which is linked below. So if you don't get it with you now, you can see there. And this is from Mrs. Fox yarn, which is the color Pine Cone. And yes, I told you I need 5 colors. And I don't know why I only bought 4. But what I'm doing for the second row, because it's supposed to be a fade. So I don't know if this is a fade exactly, but I think they go together. So for the second row, because there's a mohair as well, I will show you, but I am using these two together, so I'm just doing a row of each to just get a 5th color. I hope that will work. But there is a lace in the middle of the rows, and all of these are merino nylon blends, except this one from Lifechat, because that is only merino. But there is this lace in between. And I'm using a hand-dyed mohair from Unique Garn in the color dark rose gold. So a lot of beautiful hand-dyed yarn from a lot of talented hand dyers. And hopefully it will be a lace and fade boxy that fits me better than the last one. I hope so, because I think it's a really nice design. Yeah. So that is my second new cast on, and even though I wanted to cast on a lot of things, I stopped myself, but there will probably be a couple of new cast ons in the next few days. But I want to show you one more thing that is on my needles, but I am just knitting on it from time to time. And it's when I want to be cozy, I knit on that, because it just gives me all the cozy vibes. And it's my Cozy Memories blanket. It's been a while since I've shown you this, but I will try to show it to you, and maybe if I remember I will put up a video or something of it, because it's getting quite big. I will hide now. Bye bye. And I can't see what you see, so I hope it's in the frame. It's quite big now, but it has to be bigger. I'm knitting this all in scraps, different scraps mostly, or not mostly, all of them are hand-dyed yarns, mostly fingering, held double. And in the black one in the border is Drops Noor, I think. I don't have the label, but I think it's Drops Noor, and black, held double as well. And yeah, I just so enjoy knitting on this. I think it's as wide as I want it now. Woohoo! I can't show you, but it is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 squares wide. That doesn't say you anything. Maybe when it's done I can measure it. So I think I will stop there, at least for now. And now I just want to make it taller or higher, or what you say. So there, because now it's only 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rows tall, and I want it a lot bigger. But I am using the tutorial from Ina Knits, which is called Mittered Square Blanket, I think. I will link the tutorial in the description below. Ina has a wonderful podcast, and I highly recommend you check her out if you haven't already. And this tutorial is so great. I tried another one. I started a fingering weight cozy memories blanket, but it wasn't as cozy to knit on, so I ripped it back and I started this DK. And with that tutorial, it's going to be the best blanket. And I really want to knit more blankets. I have a blanket planned for Advent knitting, which I'm very excited to knit in December. So yeah, I need blankets. My kids, they steal my blankets. Everyone wants the blanket, so everyone has to get a blanket. They're really nice and cozy to knit on. So, and I have so many sweaters, and I have to knit on something else as well. But anyway, that is all my whips today. It's time to have a summary of August and my knitting and how my annual plan has gone. Because I have a plan for the whole year with lots of projects that I have yarn for, that I really want to get to knit this year. Projects and yarn that have been waiting for a long time. But am I knitting them, or am I getting influenced to knit other stuff? August didn't go that well if you think about my plans. I only knitted one thing that was on my annual plan for the year. Yes. Well, it's the acorn socks. So I got a pair of socks knitted with yarn that's been in my stash for a few years. So that's good. But that was the only thing. But I have knitted a lot from my stash, so I am happy about that. That is always good. So even if it wasn't a plan, I've used stash yarn. So that's a big win as well. What have I knitted then? From stash, I have knitted the Filippashawl. I have knitted the ranunculus. I have knitted an Italian summer scarf. I've knitted a hipster hat. I've knitted the Oslo hat and the streamlined tank, all from stash yarn. That's good. Yeah. But I have also bought some new yarns and knitted things that wasn't planned, but it was a lot of fun to knit anyway. And that is a moonset tee. It's 2 dishcloth, grandma's dishcloth, and a Wilfreda sweater, and the girlfriend's cardigan. All that was new yarn bought this year for new plans. but I've knitted it up. The new yarn is knitted up mostly, some scraps left, but yeah, so that's good too. In August, I knitted 1,718.5 grams. That is good. So even though my annual plan wasn't like getting a lot shorter, I'm happy because I knitted up a good amount of stash yarn in August. But I should look through my plan and see if there is something there that I can get out from or cross off. Some things I decided I don't want to knit anyway, and that's okay. And I used the yarn for other stuff, like I used yarn for the Oslo hat and hipster hat instead of a Friday tee, and that is fine too. I'm allowed to change my mind, but I love to have like an overview of things and just write down and cross off when I have done things. So we'll see how September will go. I am not sure. I don't really know how September is going, but we will talk about that next month. So we will talk about some acquisitions I have and a few plans. I haven't bought a lot of yarn. I have bought the yarn for the season's greetings hat, the Viking Alpaca Stone, but I have almost used all of that up. I just have a few scraps left of that. Yeah, but I was at a podcast meet, and we had a raffle there, and there was a lot of wonderful prizes, and I was a lucky winner. I won so many things. That is always fun, at least when it's yarn. Oh. So I will show you what I won there. I won this yarn from a company that I have heard of but not tried, and it's the Villa Sillat yarn, and a beautiful little sheep progress keeper that says start. It's not possible to show. So this is 100% wool, 100 grams, 350 meters. So this has to become something nice. I don't know what, but very rustic, but I think it will be very nice to wear in a project. Garment, maybe, shawl, I don't know. We'll see. But I'm excited to try some new yarn. And then I also won 6 balls of this yarn. Hannes Tove. In this beautiful brown heathered color. Hannes Tove is no longer available, or maybe you can get it some places, but then for a discount, I believe, because it's a yarn that's not produced anymore. But it is 100% Norwegian wool, and it's very, very soft. It's also rustic, but it's softer than this, but this is thinner. This is 160 meters on 50 grams. So I have 6 balls of this. I'm thinking maybe a field sweater by Camilla Wad. I think I can get that out of these 6 balls. Maybe. We'll see. or cardigan maybe. But it's, again, perfect fall color. So I'm excited. I was very excited to win this. And together with that yarn, there was also this beautiful little pouch. Perfect for notions and those kind of things. And this is sewn by a Norwegian podcaster called Nina. Her podcast is called Den glade tråd. And she is such a talented sewist. I have several of her bags. I love her bags. They're so pretty. Oh, so happy to win that. And then I also won this Mellanraggi from Järbo. It's a very fun yarn with a lot of different colors in it. I don't know if you can see it, but it has this gray base and that its colors blue and rust and purple and yellow, and it's very fall, like the fall specter of the colors. Can you say that? Like the yellow, it's more ochre color, and the orange is like rust, and the purple is very dark, and yeah. And I also got some Knit Pro Symphony needles. Yeah, I usually knit on magic loop. I'm not very good to knit with what you call these straight needles, DPNs? Question mark. I don't know, but maybe I will try to knit with them. We'll see. But this will become some beautiful socks anyway. And then I got a lovely gift. I was visiting another podcaster, and she has a podcast with another lady, and she was coming over to where I was staying, and she brought a gift. This fun yarn. A really Christmassy yarn. She said I can use it for a Christmas hat, and I think I will try to find a fun Christmas hat that I can use with some color work in this maybe. We'll see. This is Christmas sock wool glitter from Hobie. Yeah, I'm very excited to try. I love this. This is so fun. Yeah. And then I won in a knit-along, the summer sock camp. That was a lot of fun because there are so many people that are joining that knit-along. So I was watching Kay, the Crazy Sock Ladies podcast, and I saw my Instagram name popping up on the screen. It was like, wow, me. Oh, so exciting to get a prize from Kay. Because I love watching her podcast. The Crazy Sock Lady is, I love her podcast. And I won this fun sock yarn from Opal. I have never tried this yarn before either, so I'm excited to do so. It's 70% wool, 25% polyamide. Very excited to knit some socks with this, and I got this beautiful progress markers that say SSK knit and knit two together. So that was a lot of acquisitions, but I was just a lucky winner, and that is so much fun. So a lot of new yarn into my stash. that I'm excited to use. Yeah, some plans. I have a plan to knit a beautiful shawl from Work Knits that's called From Farm to City. It will be available soon, maybe this week. I am hoping, because I'm so excited to cast it on. I have the yarn ready and everything. So hopefully I can start that maybe this weekend. And I want to knit the heel toe dozy dough socks by Kay in the Crazy Sock Lady with this yarn. So I'm very excited for that as well. So that's my like 2 next cast on. I think I can't say for sure because, you know, my mind changes every day. But that is like the immediate plans. And I also want to start the Eva cardigan soon by Petite Knit. I think, yeah, because I want some more cardigans in my life. I think that's the plans that I'm going for in the near future. But if you join me for my next episode, you will see if I stay true to my plans or if I get influenced to start something else. That might happen. You never know. But that's the fun of knitting. Yeah, it's so fun. It's so many things, beautiful things you can knit and enjoy and have so much cozy knitting time. And now that fall is coming and winter is coming, it's just the perfect time to knit and get all cozy. Candles, coffee or tea. Oh, I like the fall. I love coffee. The coffee, I need coffee. But when it gets chilly outside and you know that fresh fall air is coming, I crave some nice tea. That's just the ultimate cozy. So I'm looking forward for those cozy times. How many times have I said cozy today? Who knows? Anyway, I think it's time to say goodbye soon. Is there something in life I can tell you? I've been, like I said, on a knitting weekend, so to speak. That's almost 2 weeks ago now. Time goes by fast. There was this podcast meetup for all the podcaster in the south and east of Norway on Sunday, and there were I think around 35 people there, all who has podcast here in Norway. Is there some of them who has an English podcast? Yes. Elo in the Knitter's Soul was there. She has a wonderful podcast in English, so I highly recommend that you check her out. And she is knitting a lot with this Villa Sillat. I think maybe this prize was from her. Yeah, so I highly recommend you check her out. And I think maybe also Bente in Indigo in Green has a podcast in English. And I highly recommend you check her out as well. And there was a lot of beautiful people there with Norwegian podcasts, which of course you can check them out, but they are in Norwegian. So that was a wonderful day, with knitting and chatting and eating pizza and having this fun raffle. And there was a yarn store there with beautiful yarns. I didn't buy anything. I was very good. But I bought some needle stoppers and something like that. So it was a good day. And it's 4 hours away from me. So I was so lucky that I could stay with another podcaster that lived in the area. and that was so nice. We had a very nice weekend. Just have a lot of knitting time together, and yeah, it was great. A great weekend away. Otherwise, the everyday life is back. School's back, and everything is started again after the summer. So it's not so much exciting things happening, but it's good. Everyday life is good. There's a lot of knitting time, and yeah. So I think that's everything I will tell you today. Thank you so much if you stuck by me till the end. I so appreciate that you are here. Thank you for all your beautiful comments, and thank you for thumbs up and for subscribing. If you're not subscribed already, I would love it if you do so, if you enjoy the content here. And that would be so wonderful if you want to. And yeah, I hope you're well and that you are knitting on something fun, or crocheting and sewing, enjoying your crafting wherever you are, and that you are well. Take care until I see you again. Bye for now.